The 2023 NFL Combine is in the books. Coming up next, I'm going to give you my takeaways, winners, losers, and what it all means to the Giants going forward. Stay tuned. What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Tommy's Takes. I'm your host, Tommy G. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. Please hit that subscribe button, drop some comments, likes, turn notifications on. Check me out on Twitter, TommyG105. Check out my Giants Country team. Thank you for being here with me all week as we were dropping Combine video after video. Much appreciated. I'm going to wrap it up today. Combine kicked off early last week, and just like that, it's over. And we had some amazing performances. We learned a lot about prospects. Some made lasting impressions, and some disappointed. So let's kick this off with some of my takeaways. Then we're going to talk about what's next for the Giants. You got free agency coming up. Pro days obviously going to be mixed in there. But first takeaway, speed and athleticism. My goodness. Wow. One of the major standouts to me was this combine, how freakishly athletic some of these prospects were. Whether it was Anthony Richardson, totally eviscerating every test out there. Darnell Washington, a tight end from Georgia, running a 4.6 40 at 270 pounds. Michigan cornerback DJ Turner running a smoking 4.26 40. The age-old adage, speed kills, it's never been true in the NFL. And I mean, even, when you look at it, the quarterbacks joined the fun too. You had 6 quarterbacks at the combine that ran a 4.6 40 or better. Wow. And we have witnessed in years past prospects skyrocketing because of their speed and athletic ability. Not going to be any different this year. Phenomenal performances athletically, and this is a speed league. And if you don't have speed in this league, you're going to get dusted. You're going to get left behind. So when you could come to the combine as a prospect, show off your speed, show off your 2010 splits, cone drills, whatever it is for each position, you can make yourself a lot of money. That's what some players did. And what about the quarterbacks? The race for number one quarterback. I thought this was very interesting. Coming into the combine, the order was essentially Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson. Bryce Young measured in at 5'10", which was actually a positive. Some had him at around 5'8", 5'9", so that was a good thing for him. Really don't think it changes much for NFL teams. I think Bryce Young is going to be the number one quarterback off the board. I have Stroud as my number one quarterback coming off. I just think he's more well-rounded, a little bit more accurate, obviously has better size. Stroud also did a great job showing accuracy, velocity on his passes. Really did a tremendous job. Even when you look at, Will Levis showing a rocket arm. I think he had a ball that was over 60 miles per hour. So did Richardson. So these kids, man, they come in with this athletic ability, and they are NFL ready in regards to that. Accuracy-wise, we did see some issues with Richardson. He did miss a few out routes. I think he missed like 3 out routes in a row at one point. But when you look at this, I mean, it's going to be tough at the top of the draft. Whether you're the Bears trading it away, whether you're a team that wants to trade up for a quarterback, who do you take? You got Bryce Young that comes from Alabama, obviously proven top program, did a tremendous job at Alabama. You have C.J. Stroud, almost a similar profile, a little bit better size. Then you have Anthony Richardson, who is, to me, the ultimate wild card, right? Obviously still has a lot of development to do, but man, his measurables are off the charts. Unbelievable measurables. And when you've seen him throwing the ball, it's just effortlessly. And if you're an NFL team, when you're picking a quarterback in the top 10, man, there is a lot of pressure on. There is a lot of stress involved with that and a lot of rewards. So it should be interesting to see. Like I said, I don't think there was a lot of separation among the quarterbacks. I think Young helped himself by measuring over 5'10". Stroud helped himself by just looking well-rounded, accurate, smooth, just really did a phenomenal job. I don't think he missed one pass in the whole combine. And then you have Richardson, who just showed that he is an athletic freak. And if he can get his accuracy together, watch out. Now we'll go through winners. So there were a few players that really helped their stock and really put some money in their pockets. We'll start with the quarterbacks. Obviously, Anthony Richardson, 40-inch vertical, 10-foot broad jump, 4.4 40, 2.5 20 split. I mean, just ridiculous. If you look at this guy's numbers, off the charts. And everybody knew how athletic Richardson was. If you watched him on Saturdays and you seen these long runs, these 70, 80-yard runs he was knocking off, you knew how athletic he was. But to see those numbers in bold black and white print, he was the winner. So like I said, still needs to improve his accuracy. Looked a little rough accuracy-wise, like I mentioned on the out routes. But, man, if you could corral that athleticism and you could help him progress, that's a stud of a quarterback. So he was my big winner for quarterbacks. I thought Will Levis looked good also. 6'4", 229, almost 11-inch hand size, which is always good for a quarterback. Second longest broad jump, second in the vertical. He also looked good with his ability to throw to the outside, inside, no matter where they asked him to throw. He did have his accuracy. Exceptionally live arm. Levis' arm had the building a buzz when he was throwing, just a rocket, a cannon out of his arm. Those are my two winners for quarterbacks. I thought both of them did phenomenally well. Running backs, you have Keaton Mitchell out of ECU, undersized, but was clearly the most explosive running back at the combine, running a 4.3 40 with a 30-inch vertical jump, 10'6" broad jump, and this guy just screams gadget player. You could line him up anywhere, honestly. Yes, size is an issue at 5'7", but you see players like this in the NFL all the time now. Now, they're going to be a top running back, a top receiver at these sizes? No, but there is a place for them. And that brings me to my next guy, Devon Aiken, ran a 4.32, looked amazing in his drills. Those are my two winners for running back. Swing over to receivers. I thought the receivers, for the most part, did really, really well. I like Jackson Smith and Jigba. He looked smooth. He looked healthy, which was a key for him. Didn't run the 40, but did everything else well. I thought he looked really smooth. His hands looked on the money, and production in college was amazing. Obviously had the issues in his senior year that held him back, but, he's going to go highly in the first round. So next up, I would give it to probably Rashay Smith. Showed off his explosiveness and his jumps, ran a respectable 4.5 140, looked smooth all the way through. While 4.5 isn't blazing speed, that was a concern coming in, that he would run a lot worse than that he didn't have that straight line speed. But he has the measurables now to go with his college production. Just to throw in there, Zay Flowers also looks like he cemented his number one wide receiver off the board position. He did a great job as well. Across the board, I thought wide receivers did really well in the combine, honestly. You can't go wrong. This is a really good wide receiver draft across the board. Giants obviously do need a wide receiver desperately, so should be interesting to see if they take one of them. And we'll go to tight ends next. And fans of the show know Darnell Washington from Georgia is my guy. Big, fast, physical, has wide receiver type hands. You see him make a one-handed catch at the combine. This guy is an athletic freak. Should be the first tight end off the board, especially with Mayer not testing well. We'll get to him after. But Washington has it all. 6'7", right? Blazing speed in the 40, hands, great blocker. He's going to make a team very, very, very happy. Also, you have Zach Kuntz out of Old Dominion. Unbelievable combine. 6'7", 255, ran a 4.5 40 with a 40-inch vertical. Showed explosiveness across all drills, and he also showed a rare second gear for players that are built that way. So look out for Zach Kuntz, good route runner as well. Made himself some big-time money in the combine. Okay, winners, offensive line. This one was a little bit harder. Obviously, offensive line's a little tougher to test at the combine. You really see offensive linemen when they're in games, in practice, in their elements, right? Up against another guy, someone in front of them. But I thought Joe Gaines from UCLA played very well in the combine. Extremely versatile, 6'4", 303 pounds, maintained an awesome hip level and balance in drills. Could become a converted center, and maybe somebody the Giants take a look at. Those are my winners for the combine offense. Now we'll switch to winners combine defense. And we'll start with cornerback. Deonte Banks out of Maryland absolutely shut it down. 6 feet, 197, ran a 4.35 40, a 42-inch vertical, 11-foot broad jump, smooth, fluid, balanced, production in college. This kid, obviously Joey Porter is kind of the consensus number one cornerback, but look out for Banks. Banks could slip into that number one cornerback drafted. He has all the tools that you would need for a number one cornerback, and he has the production at Maryland. So, linebacker, I thought Nolan Smith, Georgia, looked really good. 4.39 40, 41-inch vertical. showed speed, burst, quickness out of his jumps. I mean, he did it all. Nolan Smith was awesome as an edge rusher, as an outside linebacker. He's going to cause some havoc. D-line wise, this one was an easy one. Kalijah Cansey, no on-field drills for him, but he ran a 4.640. And a man at his size running a 4.640 is scary. Absolutely scary. A lot of comparisons to Aaron Donald. Obviously, they both come from Pitt College, but Clancy did an awesome job. Also, shout out to Georgia's Nolan Smith. Ran a 4.3940. Keep an eye on him. Those are the winners for the 2023 Combine. Now for the losers. All right, we'll start with the top quarterback. TCU quarterback Max Duggan. While he did run an impressive 40 at 4.5, surprised a lot of people, really struggled immensely with his accuracy. He was spraying balls all over the field. Didn't look in control at any point, unfortunately. I think he cost him some money. Did not flash a strong arm either. Some balls lacked velocity and died out there. So, fortunately for Duggan, that was a tough one. Didn't look good at all. And, when you're taking a quarterback, man, those combine numbers are important, right? Those combine performances are important. Not the all-seeing eye, as we've seen with Zach Wilson, Jamarcus Russell, countless other quarterbacks. We'll go to wide receiver, Jordan Addison. And now this is not a knock on Addison. I still think he's going to be a very good receiver at the NFL level. Just didn't hit the numbers he expected. He only weighs 173 pounds, so a 4.540 at that weight was a little high. Still fast, but a little bit high. Broad jump, not great. Vertical, not great. For his height, weight, and length, you would think he would have showed a little more explosiveness. Fortunately, he did not. So I had him as one of my losers just for the combine, not for the NFL level. I think he's still going to be good. Tight end, Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame. This was a tough one because he's been the consensus number one tight end to come off the board. Rough day, 4.740, which wasn't a surprise, but just didn't open any eyes, didn't look good, slippery, sloppy in drills, didn't seem under control. I thought he hurt his stock. I think maybe you could see Washington, Darnell jump ahead of Mayer when it comes to tight end selected. We'll see. Offensive line loser, I have Jarrett Patterson, Notre Dame. Finished near the bottom in almost every single drill he did, which was disappointing because a lot of people were hoping his stock would rise. Obviously did very, very well for Notre Dame. Should have performed better across the board. Not sure if it was a preparation issue, pressure issue, whatever it was, but he was my loser at the O-line. D-line, I had Mike Morris, Michigan. He traveled to Indy as a day 2 pick with a chance to make a real serious move. Morris has tremendous intangibles on the D-line. But, man, it went the opposite way quick for him. 4.940, 20-inch vertical, slipped multiple times, at least a handful of times. Didn't seem capable of changing direction at an instant. Seemed like he really couldn't make those moves, so that hurt him. Defensive back, loser-wise, I had Christopher Smith, Georgia. Listen, just low scores, 4.640, 33-inch vertical. Did not help himself. He also slipped a couple times. I don't know what was up with that field in Indy. For my linebackers, I also thought linebackers did very well. This was a tough one. Charlie Thomas from Georgia Tech, very light linebacker weight-wise, and didn't drill well. Just didn't look smooth, didn't look fast, didn't put up the numbers that you would want to see. Those are my losers and winners for the Combine. Overall, though, listen, I want to make a statement. The drills are impressive. The 4.4 is impressive, right? 4.3 is impressive. The broad jump, 42 inches, impressive. You could never fully tell a player until you have pads on, you're in a game, the pressure's on, the clock's ticking, you're down by a touchdown, you need to make the play. They don't measure heart. They don't measure those intangibles. Some people feel like if it's not tangible, it doesn't count. It counts tremendously. So that's something to keep an eye on. There will be at least a couple of players in this combine that did not test well, that were losers, that their stock fell, that will be great players in the NFL. But all in all, I thought it was a great combine. What it means for the Giants, needs still stay the same. Wide receiver, linebacker, cornerback, inside interior offensive line, safety. Giants still have a tremendous amount of needs across the board. Combine doesn't really change that much, but interesting to note, Giants were very, very involved in interviewing first-round receivers. Obviously, there's a lot of due diligence that goes into that, but really nothing to take from what it means for the Giants yet. Obviously, Giants still trying to get the Daniel Jones contract done. Seems like we're coming to kind of a breaking point here. Tuesday is that date where they want to get something done or they're going to have to tag him. Obviously, if they do tag him, they can still negotiate up until July, but you don't want to do that because money comes off the cap and the tag, it's a little bit messy. So something to keep an eye on with that. Giants still seem to be pretty far apart on the Saquon deal. Nothing new on that part. And we look towards free agency. Free agency is going to dictate a lot for the Giants in the draft. If the Giants go out and sign a number one wide receiver or trade for a number one wide receiver, that need drops down slightly, right? If the Giants do the same at linebacker and they sign a Bobby Wagner or an Edmonds, that linebacker need drops down. So before really getting into the deep needs of the Giants, let's see what happens in free agency. You also have pro days coming up. That could help some of these players that maybe didn't test well and they want to test again. But for now, that's it. Thank you once again for tuning in. Thank you for being here for every day in the Combine with me. Appreciate you guys and gals. Subscribe, drop some comments, likes, check out the Giants Country team. For now, peace.